Today we're going to talk about multiplicative comparisons. So when we use multiplicative comparisons, we are going to be comparing different things. So greater than, less than, or equal to, those are the things that we can say when we're comparing. So when we are deciding if two ratios, so we just learned about ratios, and we also know that we can write them as fractions. If they are equivalent, we can decide that by butterflying those two things. So if we need to see if they are equivalent, we can butterfly. So let's practice that down here. So I have 3/5 and 8/15, and then I want to see which one of those is bigger. So I am going to butterfly. So when we butterfly, we're going to do 5 times 8, and that's 40. Okay, and then I can also do 3 times 15, and that is 45. So we obviously know 40 is not the same as 45, so we cannot use the equal sign. And now I can use my alligator mouth to choose which one is bigger. So 45 is bigger, so my symbol would be this alligator mouth, because remember the alligator wants to eat the bigger number. So 3/5 is bigger than 8/15. Even though my numbers aren't bigger, that fraction is bigger than 8/15. So now I can go to my next set of fractions, 1/2 and 7/14. So if you don't automatically see the relationship there, we can butterfly. So 7 times 2 is 14. And then 1 times 14 is 14. So since we have the same answer, 14 and 14, these two are equivalent. And we also could tell that because 7 is half of 14, so those are equivalent fractions. And then last, we can do 10/16 and 5/7. So 5 times 16 is 80. And then I have 10 times 7, which is 70. And then those are not equivalent, so I cannot do my equal sign. 80 is bigger than 70, so my alligator mouth goes this way this time because my alligator is going to eat the bigger side. So 5/7 is bigger than 10/16. Again, even though the numbers are smaller, it's still bigger. And then the last thing we need to remember is that when we have a ratio 4/6, it is not equal to 6/4. We cannot switch the order of a ratio. If it says 4/6, 6/4, that is our Joe Schmo. We cannot switch that order. So open to the middle of your notes, and we're going to do a few practice problems. So in example number 1, an artist mixes 2 scoops of blue paint with 3 scoops of red paint to make purple. If the artist decided to make more purple paint in a larger batch, which ratio would be equivalent to the ratio of blue paint to red paint? So my keyword here is ratio, so we need to write a ratio. And again, they want blue to red. So if we wanted to, we could write our ratio blue to red, because order matters. So how many blue did I have? I had 2 scoops of blue. So 2 blue, and I had 3 scoops of red, so 3 red. So if I was going to write that ratio, blue would go first, so 2 would go first, and then 3 would go second, so 3. And then I'm going to check my answer choices. My Joe Schmo would be B, because we just talked about we cannot switch that order. So that is automatically going to be out. Now, if I look at my answer choices, I have options here. I am first going to skip count and see which one of these works. So the smallest one would be 5. So when I start skip counting, I want to try and see if I can get that 5, 9. So on this side, remember this is blue, this is red, I'm going to skip count by 2s. So 2, 4, 6. And on this side over here, I'm going to skip count by 3s. 3, 6, 9. So I have a 9, but my 5 doesn't match. So D is out, okay? All right, the next closest one would be 12. So let's skip counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, let's see if that matches on the other side. I need a 15. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So 12, 15 is not quite right. I have 12, 18, so that is gone. Okay, so let's try that last one. I need 18, 27. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, and then 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So that is going to be my equivalent ratio. So we can skip count to get that answer. Another option, just so you know for the future, is we have the ratio 2/3. I could have written that like a fraction, and I also could have written 18 over 27 like a fraction, and you could butterfly those two. That would get you 54, and that right there would also give you 54. So since those are equivalent, that's also a way you could show your work. So you could butterfly, or you could skip count on that one. All right, example number 2. The Brady family decides to take a road trip. They drive 28 miles every 2 gallons of gas. Which table shows the possible values of M, the number of miles, and G, the gallons of gas? So we have 28 miles every 2 gallons. So 28 miles every 2 gallons, 28 miles every 2 gallons. Okay, so those are both correct here. So we need to go on, and if we have tables as answer choices, again, tables as answer choices, then we are going to butterfly our tables. That is because 28 over 2 is a fraction. This is a fraction, this is a fraction. These are ratios, and remember, we can write ratios as fractions. So we can butterfly those. So if we butterfly them, they need to be equivalent. So I'm going to butterfly A. So I'm going to do 28 over 4. 28 times 4 is 112. And then I'm going to butterfly 66 times 2, which is 132. So since those are not equivalent, this is not a good ratio table. So A is out. So let's go to B. 42 times 2 is 84. Okay. And then 28 times 3 is also 84. So since we have equivalent fractions or equivalent ratios throughout the table, this is going to be my answer. Our tables have to have equivalent ratios or equivalent fractions throughout. All right, last 2 problems. So example 3, a grocery store placed only loaves of wheat and white bread on the shelf. The ratio of the number of loaves of white bread to the total loaves of bread on the shelf was 9:20. Which number could be the number of loaves of wheat bread the clerk placed on the shelf? Lots of words. So let's go back. It said ratio. So I know I'm going to be writing a ratio. Okay, so we need our dots. It says white to the total. So it's going to be white bread to the total. And that was 9:20. So 9:20. Okay. So I know I have 9 white. So let's rewrite it down here so I can kind of see a little bit better. 9 white. And I have 20 total loaves. Okay. The actual question said which number could be the wheat bread. So I have white in the total, so I need to figure out wheat bread. So if I know the total, I would have to subtract to get the white bread. So let's go ahead and write this out. I have white plus wheat, because those are the two types of bread, those are going to equal my total amount. So I have 9 white plus how many wheat is going to equal the total. Oh, sorry, the total, we know the total, it's 20. So 9 plus something is going to give me that wheat. And if we do 20 minus 9, that is 11. So my wheat would actually be 11. So 9 plus 11 is 20. So now I can write my ratio. I have 9 white to 11 wheat equals my 20 total. So white, wheat, and total. So again, we want wheat bread, so we are only focused on this number right here. But 11 is not an answer choice. So now we can use our skip counting to see which could be an answer. So we're going to count by 9s for white. So 9, 18, and then we'll do one more, would be 27. Okay, and then for wheat, we're going to count by 11. So 11, 22, 33. And since we only care about wheat, that's going to be my answer. I don't even need to worry about the total. So once I find the wheat, we can skip count to find that 33. All right, last one, almost done. At McDonald Middle School, the ratio of boys to girls enrolled in Spanish class is 5 to 4. Which ratio could represent the number of boys to girls in Spanish class at McDonald Middle School? Select 2 correct answers. So again, my keyword is ratio, and it says boys to girls. So boys to girls, order matters, is 5 to 4. So 5 boys, 4 girls. So again, let's write it down here. 5 boys, and let's label 4 girls. And then I do have a Joe Schmo. We cannot switch our order. So A is out. It is a Joe. We're not going to pick that one. None of my answer choices match. So now I can start skip counting. So on this, the boys side, I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10. Okay, I don't have any 10s first. 15. Okay, I have a 15, so let's do the other side and see if it matches. So on the girl side, we're counting by 4s. 4, 8, 12. So 15, 12, that does match. That is correct, but I need 2 correct answers. And I can also already see I didn't even get to 8 on the boy side, so B is not going to be correct. Okay, so I need 15 or 20. So let's keep going. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, let's see if I get a 16 on the other side. 4, 8, 12, 16. And that is my other answer. There we go. And 15, 12 is not 15, 8. So D is out as well. All right, I do want to also point out you could have written your fractions. You could have written 5 over 4. And 15 over 12, and butterflied those as well, okay? Or if we had 5, 4, and 5 to get to 15 is 3, so 5 times 3 is 15, and 4 times 3 is 12, so that could have worked, and you could have also done the same for E with times 4. All right, so that is multiplicative comparison.